What's going on? Joe Esposito, you're the best around. God, that song pumps me up so much. What's going on, everybody? Brian Richmond with the Boss, Best Orlando Sports Station here. We're going to have a nice little recap of the NBA weekend, man. And I tell you, we're going to get right into it. Nothing beat Saturday night's marquee game. Oklahoma City, Golden State Warriors in OKC. And sweet Jesus, what a game that was. I want to start right at the end, but if I start at the end, you'll miss so much, including Steph Curry's 12 threes that he hit. 12 threes that he hit. Absolutely incredible. This guy he's ridiculous. This guy one-ups himself every game. You know, the night before he hits 51 points. This night hits 12 threes and breaks the record. I mean, he was 12 for 16 at the three-point line. Okay, he was 12 for 16 at the three-point line. That is a good week for some people. To give you an idea, Klay Thompson was 2 for 9. Okay, Curry finishes 46 points, 6 assists. Again, 12 threes, NBA record. If you missed this game, shame on you, because this is probably going to go down as a game of the year this year in the NBA. Oklahoma, you always ask those questions, did Golden State win or did Oklahoma lose? And any day of the week, I'd say Golden State won. This day, I'm going to say Oklahoma loses. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, it's hard to guard Steph Curry. Correct. However, when you lack the fundamentals to guard anybody, that's the problem. When you are switching on pick and rolls and you're putting somebody like Ibaka on Curry and you're switching off and you're going under the screen instead of over a screen to get Steph Curry. Okay, you understand he needs 6 inches to get a shot off, correct? So why are you going under a screen? Ever against him. Ever. Okay, don't switch and put A bigger, slower guy, and B, somebody who can't get over the screen. You can't, you got to stay on top of him. You got to guard him. And then let's go fast forward, overtime. First off, mind you, in overtime, Golden State put up 18 points in overtime. Okay, I want to point out, overtime is 5 minutes long. And they put up 18 points. Okay? Oklahoma scored 20 in the fourth quarter, and that was 12 minutes. You think you don't know how to play defense? That was hard to watch. Just everybody was shooting. Everybody was shooting. There was zero defense. Let's get into Oklahoma real quick if we can. You know, you've got these two guys, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. We've been talking about it all year. If Steph Curry wasn't in the league, one of those two guys would win the MVP. Durant, very efficient, 13 for 26 shooting, finished with 37 points that night, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Very efficient, 50% shooting. On the flip side, Russell Westbrook. And here's my problem with Russell Westbrook is these big games, I feel when he's going against somebody in the caliber of Steph Curry and happen to be guarding Steph Curry, I think Westbrook is very erratic. I think he's too aggressive for the worst. He puts up shots that are not Westbrook-esque shots. Okay, he shot 10 for 29. You know, when you're missing 19 shots against a team like Golden State, you have zero chance. Zero chance. Not to mention you were 0 for 6 from the three-point line. Okay, you dished out 13 assists. But put it this way: if you had 15 or 16 assists, you win that ball game. You win that ball game. And I'm not putting it on Russell Westbrook. However, when you're shooting 10 for 29 and then you're giving up 46 points, yeah, you probably need some help defense. But and this goes to Billy Donovan on the defensive end. This is not the Florida Gators, man. This is not SEC basketball. You can't switch off on somebody like Steph Curry. And then you got to learn how to read the screens. You got to learn. Do not go under it. Okay? You got to go through or over, especially when somebody like Steph Curry has the ball. Okay? Which leads me to my next point. What is there? 6 seconds left on the clock in overtime. Tie game. Steph Curry's dribbling the ball up with nobody near him? Okay, two things. A, why are we letting him have the ball? Okay, number one, in the full court, mind you, or in the backcourt. Number two, why is nobody near him, pressing him, forcing him to give up the shot? Oh, we'll let him shoot a 38-footer. Why? Why? He shoots at 50% from there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Force him to get to Draymond Green. He was 0 for the world in that game. Yeah, he had 14 rebounds, 14 assists. He had 2 points. Get him the ball. Okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta step up on that. I don't even know who challenged that shot at the end. I don't even know who it was. But that's not a defense for the game. Tie game at 6 seconds in overtime? Letting him touch the ball with nobody around? Oklahoma, I don't know if you know that or not. That's Steph Curry. His range is the gym. Just want to throw that out there. You know, he shot from section 106, row 7 once. He feels comfortable over there. Maybe you should guard him. Okay? Just want to throw that out there. Maybe we should guard him. Perhaps next time we'll go to the drawing board and, perhaps see that possibly we can guard the greatest shooter in the history of this freaking game. Just want to throw that out there, okay? That's my take on it. I feel like Oklahoma lost that game more than Golden State won it. However, I mean, Golden State's won games left and right all year long. It's Golden State. What are you going to do? That Saturday, really, honestly, the only decent game, in my opinion, worth talking about. You had some marquee teams, but, Miami at Boston. Boston ran away with it, 101-89. Nobody really talking about that game. Minnesota beats the Pelicans, who the Pelicans the night before wound up beating. Who'd they beat? They beat a pretty decent team the night before. And those are the games that the Pelicans, you got to win those games. You got to win the games against the freaking Timberwolves, man. What are you doing? The Timberwolves are freaking 19-40. Granted, the Pelicans are not much better, but those are the games you got to win, man. Those are the games you got to win. And I get it. Anthony Davis didn't play. I get it. But come on. You're the freaking, I don't know. You're a Pelican. I get it. But, oh, my gosh. Portland beats the Bulls 103-95 in Chicago. Damian Lillard is somebody I love watching, man. That guy is so underrated, and he is just playing on the wrong team, man. You don't get any credit, any media in the upper northwest of the country. Sorry. Half the country doesn't even know where Portland is, okay? It's in Oregon, guys. Yeah. People, I would bet 70% of this country couldn't point Oregon on a map. Okay? My opinion. Sorry, guys. Let's go to San Antonio, Houston, man. In Houston, this is a game that the Rockets needed to win. These are the games that the Rockets need to win. They need to have a win against a marquee team like the Spurs, because the Rockets are that team. They're that team, man. They are not a bad team, but they cannot put a season together right now. They cannot put the season together right now, man. They look lost out there. Okay, James Harden, 10 for 25, has 27 points. Efficient, iffy, 10 for 25. Dwight Howard, you're 4 of 11, man. You're 7 feet tall, man. 7 feet. Pretend. Just pretend for once that it doesn't take much to jump and put the ball in the hoop for you, man. Josh Smith, 1 for 8. And Trevor Ariza, 3 for 8. Not a lot of productivity. Not a lot of productivity. You had Corey Brewer, who was their second leading scorer at 15 points, with Jason Terry. Jason Terry's got to be 55 years old right now, does he not? How old is Jason Terry? He's got to be in his 50s, right? Am I wrong? I'm telling you, man. Him and Pistol Pete used to play one-on-one together, did they not? Oh, my God. Rockets are lost. This season is definitely a rebuilding. They need to go and rebuild. They have an interim coach. They fired their coach, 12 games into the season, which clearly wasn't the reason. I mean, he took them to the Western Conference Finals, man. James Harden, in my opinion, last year, that guy was single-handedly doing it. He should have been the MVP last year, in my opinion. I mean, you can't argue Steph Curry. But James Harden last year, what he did with what he had, not even close. It's not even close. And now this year, it's just, there's no continuity, man. There's no teamwork. They look lost. There's no identity right there. And it's unfortunate that that's what happened to that city. Detroit beats Milwaukee. And Memphis and Phoenix. Phoenix took on Memphis, beats Memphis. Again, Memphis does not have Marc Gasol. He's out for who knows how long. And then Brooklyn over Utah, 98-96. You thought Brooklyn would have been a marquee team a couple years back. They stopped. They got rid of everybody, and they're now Brooklyn, not Manhattan. Last night, Sunday night, Cleveland at Washington. No LeBron James. No problem for the Wizards. They win 113-99. John Wall. That's another underrated guy, man. I was talking about Damian Lillard earlier. John Wall's a stud. John Wall is a stud. He's got to be one of the top 2-3 fastest guys in the league. This guy can get to the rim anytime he wants. And again, I feel he's just playing in the wrong media area. Washington, D.C., you'd think, but he's in the wrong town. John Wall deserves more credit than what he's getting. When you go, I mean, there's some decent point guards in the NBA this year, but he consistently plays well. And, you're going against Kyrie Irving. He was 8 for 11. You want to talk about productivity. You're 8 for 11 against Kyrie, and you held him to 9 of 20. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists for John Wall. So his numbers, they don't lie. They don't lie. And with the team that he has, they're not a great team. They're barely a good team. So you're getting 13 assists on that team. That's pretty impressive. Bradley Beal, 5 of 10, 17 points. Porter Jr. had 21, so he showed up for the game. Good for him. But the Wizards, man, they go from last year being a legit team, and they're falling, man. That's what happens to a lot of teams this year. Big win last night, actually, for Detroit, beating the Raptors 114-101 on the road, or in Detroit, I should say. Toronto at home, they're unstoppable at home. It's absolutely insane, but granted, Lowry didn't play last night, so to their defense, they didn't have their star point guard, but still, man, it's a big win. The Raptors are 39-19. Detroit, they're going to be right in the middle of things, trying to get into those playoffs. Andre Drummond, 15 points, 18 rebounds. Surprise, not really. And I want to point out that Detroit shot almost 58% that game. Okay, so they're getting every shot that they wanted to. Every shot they wanted, they were getting, and they were making them. They were 12 for 23 at that three-point line. Okay, pretty efficient, pretty damn efficient. Okay, I don't know if they had Kyle Lowry. I don't know if they would have lost that game still. I still think Detroit would have beaten them because the fact that they were shooting that high of a percentage. Opinion. Portland beats Indiana in Indiana, so that's a very big win for Portland. As Indiana, they're definitely... playoffs are right around the corner, man. And there's a big mix of people, 3rd seed to 8 to 9, 10 seed. I mean, it's a very close. Damian Lillard went off, 33 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 11 for 23 shooting. That guy, and he's going up, and think about it, he's going up. George Hill holds George Hill 4 of 10. Monta Ellis was 6 for 17, so not efficient as far as shooting. Paul George, 4 of 15. That's not Paul George. Held Indiana 43% shooting. That's not Paul George. That's not Monta Ellis. Monta Ellis shot 17 times? Oh, my God. What are you doing? This isn't Dallas. It's Indiana. Get the ball to Paul George. Get the ball to George Hill. Maybe not this game. Okay, maybe not this game. Other games, Orlando beats Philly. That's a big shocker. Big shocker. 130 to 116. Okay, I don't know what's worse, to be honest with you. I don't know what's worse. The fact that Orlando was able to score 130 or the fact that Orlando gave up 116 to Philly. I don't know what's worse. Somebody's got... Okafor had a great game. 26 points on 12 for 18 shooting. There's Smith, 6 for 12. I don't know what's worse, man. Orlando had 3 guys score 20-plus points. They had 7 guys in double figures. I don't know, man. I don't know. Elfrid Payton had a nice little game, 11 points, 10 assists. But what's worse, man? What is worse? The fact that Orlando put up 130 or the fact that they gave up 116 to Philly? In Philly. It's, ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Dallas takes on Minnesota 128-101. Dominating win by the Mavericks against Minnesota. And this game that I'm about to talk about right now. Miami at New York. As you all know, I am a Knicks fan. Okay? We all know that. Where do I start? Joe Johnson debuts for the Heat, who, mind you, behind Steph Curry, is probably the most clutch shooter in the NBA. This guy, minute or less, this is the guy you give the ball to. So now he's on Miami. You have Amari Stoudemire on Miami, who comes back from the Garden, which is, I understand. What month are we in? The end of February, and Stoudemire is still playing this season? Yeah. Where was that the last 4 years? Thanks, Amari. Dwayne Wade, he loves playing in the Garden. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He loves it there. For the Knicks, oh, man. Where do I start? We'll start with the superstar. We'll start with Carmelo Anthony. 9 for 24. 4 assists. Okay. Finished at 25 points. Got to the free throw line 7 times. Okay. My friend, I'm going to need you to pass that ball a little bit more. 9 for 24. That tells me it's not a good shooting night. Okay. And I don't suggest passing to Porzingis because he was 4 for 13. I don't want to hear that it was, Miami's great defense. No, the Knicks shoot. The Knicks just shoot. Just ill-advised shots. Galloway, 3 for 10. Jose Calderon. Let me talk. I got to talk about this. I got to talk about Jose Calderon. I've got to talk about him. He may be, for the amount of minutes he plays in the National Basketball Association, he may be the worst player in the league ever. Okay? Have you ever watched, I beg you guys, I need you to watch this. Just watch Jose Calderon play. Okay? You're the point guard, starting point guard. 3 assists. 4 turnovers. Do that math. Okay? Let me see that assist to turnover ratio. 7 points. Do I need you to score 15? No. Don't let Dragic score 13. Simple, right? You played 40 minutes. You didn't get 1 rebound. Granted, I know you're a small guard, but you didn't accidentally fall on a 1? You didn't accidentally fall into a rebound. It's interesting, man. It's very interesting. Got a question from a listener. Did you hear the Heat fans chanting, "Let's go Heat" in Madison Square Garden? All right. I hate to burst your bubble, but those were not Heat fans chanting, "Let's go Heat." Okay? Those were Knicks fans chanting, "Let's go Heat." And I cannot blame them because I was chanting, "Let's go Heat." We are sitting at 25-36 right now. Okay? We have absolutely zero idea where we're going right now. We're now 6.5 games back of the 8th seed. 2 weeks ago, we were 2 games. We're 2-8 in our last 10. We're not playing good basketball. Is that the coach's fault? No. Is it the president's fault? The GM's fault? Maybe. We don't have the right people on the court at the right time. That's what I think. We've got Jose Calderon as our point guard, starting point guard. That needs to change. That man is not a point guard in this league. Period. I don't care what anybody has to say. On the flip side, you had Robin Lopez last night showed up, 14 and 14. That never happens. Ever. That was accidental. Okay? I don't know where we need to start, but we need to do something. Because the Knicks we have no future if this is what we're going to do. What do we keep relying on these draft picks? What are we doing? We play in Madison Square Garden. We play in the biggest market in the world when it comes to sports. Do something. You're Phil Jackson. You're running this organization. Okay, we got Porzingis. Great. You screwed us over giving us Derek Fisher for a year and a half, 2 years. Whatever that was. What are you doing, man? Come on, Phil. The triangle was good in the 90s. It's not working anymore. Can we please move on from this and play like everybody else is in the league? What are we doing right now, man? That's my rant on the New York Knicks. I'll try not to let it happen anymore. But it's very frustrating, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware. Everybody has a team that they're very frustrated with. Everybody has teams that they feel can do better than what they're doing. And I'm one of those. I'm a passionate Knicks fan. It's hard. It's hard watching a team that just really looks lost half the time. You know? They have a game against the Magic where they look like, okay, here we are, they're going to compete. And then we go against Miami, a team that's a legit, a playoff contender. And we shit the brick. Why? I don't know, guys. I don't know. We'll love your thoughts, comments, questions, anything. But anyways, that's the NBA recap for this past weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoy listening in general. Every week we'll be doing recaps of the NBA. Baseball season is slowly upon us. Opening day for spring training, I believe, is tomorrow. So we'll have some recaps of that. Big time fantasy baseball is coming up, so I'm very excited about that. Even though I tend to typically have very bad years in fantasy baseball, I still look forward to doing it with the fellas. Anybody else play fantasy baseball? Would love to chat with you about that. And we'll be back again maybe tomorrow, maybe the night after on the NBA recap coming up. I'm Brian. Thank you so much for listening to the Best Orlando Sports Station. Everybody have a great day.
Yeah, I learned the game from William Wesley. You can never check me.